All right, y'all, we made it to Friday. Good to have y'all with us as we get cranked up here on a chilly Friday, but it's a whole lot. It warmed up nicely today. I kind of liked it. Got outside for a little while. More cold weather on the way Sunday, and the forecasters have almost completely ruled out the possibility of any kind of snow here in Birmingham or anywhere here in Alabama. There may be some southeast Alabama stuff, but I think they've all grown in confidence as we thought they would by today, that we're not dealing with any of that. But several rounds of cold weather on the way. It is still winter, and I guess that's not a big surprise for everybody. We got an interesting, kind of a different show today. I'm going to take my foot off the gas just a little bit. Now, we do have some headlines and some stuff to get into here in just a minute, but a little later in the show, AJ, a surprise guest. I managed to recruit my own wife to come sit in the new studio and do a little quick interview with me. She'll be the first person on the guest cam. You know what I mean? That little extra camera that I got set up over here. So really, it was prompted by a a caller yesterday that was calling about the complexities of federal government complying with the federal government when you get free money. And that just happens to be her business. We'll go through the details of that in a little while, but it is her community, and people that are in the nonprofit world and the government service world are stunned. They are outraged, probably even more so than the average taxpayer, because they know how much work they do to stay in compliance, to put legitimate requests for money in. They try to stay in the lines, and now you see these billions being pilfered from the American taxpayer. The estimates are all over the place, and I think that's a story that's going to be with us through a good part of the year. So we'll do that in the next hour, giving her a couple of minutes to get in here. Later in the show, we'll be talking about my cats. I have two cats now. I'm a cat daddy, about their testicles with Dr. Andy. I know y'all will be excited about that. They went and got the old AJ. They got an attitude adjustment today at Dr. Andy's shop over at Caldwell Mill. He's going to call in. He actually sent me pictures. And
he sent you pictures of the procedure, or
he sent me befores and afters of the cats.
Oh, wow!
And I'd never seen that anywhere, much less my own little kittens. So Max and Leo got they got back on the porch today. We'll see how they do this afternoon. But she's got to go run and pick them up. And but I missed him because I thought he was doing the surgery this morning, so I ran by when we dropped him off, and I missed him. So I said, "Why don't you just call in the show, and we'll try to have fun with that." See, Bob Barker passed away. Do you remember Bob Barker, AJ?
Yes. Let's make a deal.
What did he always tell us?
Spay and neuter your pets and children. No.
Have your pets and neuters and husbands spayed and neutered. And so it stuck with me as a kid. So now we're picking up the mantle to encourage people to get that done. In fact, these guys were rescues, and I'm still taking some getting used to the cat world, but. Anyway, we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show, trying to have some fun on a Friday. I'll say this, too, AJ. I've got a big tease, and I hadn't even had time to talk to you. We've been super busy here on this Friday. But we've got a Jawbone Jam this year that's going to beat all expectations in May. We got a date set. We're putting the final link on the contracts.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all are going to love the bands we put together and the show we're going to put on, and I think it's going to be a packed house. I can say we're returning to Iron City downtown. Y'all are going to be jazzed. I've been jazzed all afternoon. Everybody I've called that's from the bands, y'all know these bands, and it's just going to be a fun time in May. So go ahead and take your calendar and mark somewhere around mid-May. Once we get the final stuff, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I've been working on that today with my musician friends, my buddies over there, people on our team, and we're excited about it. So AJ, it's the 10th anniversary of this place. Did you think we'd make it this long?
Man, 10 years, man. I cannot believe
10 years.
Honestly, it really doesn't feel like it's been 10 years, to be honest with you. It really doesn't. It doesn't feel like it's
Yep.
It just feels like it was like yesterday that this concept was brought out, and then it turned into what it is today.
Yeah.
But 10 years of being on the radio here in Birmingham, it's an honor. It really
I think
is.
we got to get our boy Murphy to come back down for the anniversary party this year. And
Yeah.
we got to get Lindenberg. We got to get all the OGs. We got to go out and find all of the folks that have been part of this thing
Mm-hmm.
for the last 10 years. Now, our show, AJ and I have been together. This show's been around 16 years. We did some bouncing. But when we put this thing, it occurred to me today, and I was thinking about the 10th anniversary because of this event, all the work that's going to go into this event in the next few months. And it occurred to me, Trump has been in the presidency and then out of the presidency, but completely in the news the whole time we've been a radio station, because he was running in 16, got elected that first year, then, of course, served this first term, then all the chaos when he was out of office, the things we've been through with the COVID stuff and all that. Who knew what would be coming and the things we'd have to talk about for 10 straight years? And who knows what's coming this year? It's a crazy time. Let me get into the first subject, the stuff that's actually in the news today. Yes, we've still got chaos in Minnesota, but that really is becoming a big old joke. Even some of the ICE agents and federal agents running around trying to get their jobs done out there, they're now taunting the protesters. They're laughing at them, making fun of them for not being able to keep up with some of the operations. I don't know that the numbers are increasing or decreasing, but they're becoming more and more nuts, and the whole country's just, there's a little bit of a tune-out factor. As much as the mainstream media, particularly Fox and CNN, from their different corners are trying to stoke this thing, you got a few hundred people clashing from corner to corner in Minnesota, and the whole country's supposed to be up in arms over it. I think folks are more wise to this stuff and less emotional about it, even though inevitably there'll be video and images and words said by these clowns that run Minnesota that'll tick you off. Y'all go enjoy your weekend. I don't think this thing's got real legs, and it seems to be, but the optics, the law of it, everything that's involved in it is kind of coming to heel. But because of that, because of the efforts that the Trump administration is making to sort out people that should not be in this country, there's a concept that just hit the news a little while ago, and I had to scratch my head and think about it, and I've come full circle on an issue about identification. Let me see how much time do I have. I've got time to kind of vet this out before we get into our first break. So there was I don't even remember who posted it, but somebody just put up a post saying that the Department of Homeland Security is about to put out an advisory to Americans to be prepared. And this is all of us. I guess maybe there's some illegal immigrants in the audience too, but to be prepared to have your ID and proof of citizenship on you at any minute. Now, I got to take y'all in the Wayback Machine and go back to the 80s when we used to abhor that thought, checking your papers, so to speak. It evoked images of the Nazis trying to separate out the Jews. It evoked images for us, for my generation, of the Cold War, because that was also a thing with the Soviet Union of tracking their citizens. But all these years later, and with the circumstance that we find ourselves in now, I've come around to the point where my general philosophical stance would be, okay, I don't want to have to do that. But the thing is, as an American citizen myself, I'm proud to do it. I'm very happy to do it. And here's why. Every country I've ever traveled to checks your identification when you're coming in, when you're going out, sometimes when you're moving about. Last summer I did we did 4, 5, or 6 countries around the Mediterranean in Europe, and I think we got at some point identified not only on public transit but in other places. Definitely hotel stays. Their spot checks, especially in the train station in Rome and in Florence. If you go to any transportation hub, they'll have armed, what looks like more military than police, but they're armed, and they check people, and because they've got an immigration issue too. And what has forced this is, while Homeland Security is having to do these raids with these non-citizens that won't leave and are in hiding and being protected by these nut jobs, especially in Minnesota, sometimes you'll get American citizens that get swept up in a sweep. Then that has to be vetted. You got to sit down and sort it out and find proof. It'd be a whole lot easier if the American could say, look, here's my passport, and then you're instantly going to be let go. Their success rate, though, in apprehensions is 99.9%. It just is. I think I heard Scott Jennings say that yesterday, too. Out of the 6 million or so that we think they've come in contact with and or deported, only about 100 and something were American citizens that were temporarily detained until this issue could be sorted out. But no American wants to get caught up in this, and it's easy because it's not based on ethnicity, it's based on citizenship. And so with our side, let's be real here, our side, so to speak, the people to the center, the moderates, the people to the right, we're all in support of voter identification when you go to exercise your rights. As long as the government doesn't start having, they can always demand identification anyway. We're just used to being portable in America. You can drive from state to state unless you get pulled over. Nobody's really necessarily going to ask you for anything, especially a citizenship document. Most of us we get by with our driver's licenses. And so, but the federal government now has a bigger task in sorting out folks that should be here, folks that shouldn't be here. You can't tell by looking. And the agents aren't even trying to do that. Sometimes when you go into a community and you make detention, say somebody assaults an officer while they're detaining some criminal alien in a neighborhood, but that person's an American, they've got an obligation to arrest that person. But as far as deportation, that has to get sorted out. In the moment, though, as an American citizen, if there are stops targeted at these people, I'm happy to I'll carry my passport. And in that vein, and I know there's some members of the legislature that listen now that they're back in session. I'm telling you, somebody, and it'd be a little bit of an inconvenience because the Star ID alone, and maybe that's sufficient because that's part of the Star ID program if you've got that on your license. But we need to find out what those requirements are, and it'd be a whole lot easier if we could just have our citizenship denoted on the driver's license. We get mine out. I don't even have mine. It's up at the house. But I don't think that's denoted on a driver's license, but it should be, and it could be. If states would do that, then you don't have to carry any extra documents. If the state has vetted that for you, and maybe the government will decide that a Star ID suffices because you have gone, that's part of that process. If any of y'all done it, you go down to your state trooper's office or your license office and you take a passport. You take 2 forms of identification. One of those is and can be a passport to show your citizenship, and it helps you when you're pre-boarding an aircraft. Federal government kind of got states to get on board with this. It's sort of a pre-vetting on your identification to smooth out our transportation hubs when we're moving about on planes. Look, if we have to do it in every other aspect of life, if we're going to support identifying yourself and proving your right to vote, which also ought to only be exclusive to citizens, if we're going to ask certain ages to have identification to buy certain products, alcohol and whatnot, then to show that you're a citizen, I'm proud to be a citizen. And I think our citizenship ought to come with some benefits, don't y'all? You shouldn't be able to come here and get a job, vote, and do all the things that citizens get to do with no repercussions or no vetting, no qualms. But what should separate us, what the sovereignty of our country should dictate with our borders and with our rights, it should come with some benefits. It should come with the exclusive benefits of being a citizen who, I don't want to use the word entitled, but we have a right to the protections of our country. We can prove that we're citizens. And again, if you ever travel outside the country, you're going to have to whip that out. And it's important that you got to whip that passport out at almost everything you do when you travel the world. So it'll be a debate for sure. It'll be funny to me to watch leftists disagree with that, but let them do it. But that's going to open up a whole, it's philosophical and it's practical. And those two arguments, no matter what you're talking about, if you got a philosophical argument about your principles and generalities, and then you've got a practical situation where we need help to quickly remediate something that's going on, and you've got those facts against each other, you're always going to have a spirited debate. And we'll entertain that. We'll do some calls on it. If y'all want to get in here this afternoon on the show and talk about ID, what do y'all think? I don't mind doing it. I'll carry my passport. Some people keep their passport on them a lot of the time, and they're digital versions of it. I suppose if the government wanted to streamline it, you could also be able to digitally save pictures of it or something that could be examined in some kind of stop or some kind of operation. And if they'd make it easy on us, it wouldn't be that big a deal. It wouldn't be an inconvenience at all. Now, I tend to keep mine locked up in a safe. Now, here's why. Because it's so difficult. If you want to travel and you've got to suddenly be somewhere and go out of the country, and somehow it gets lost or stolen, having it replaced, waiting on that process, making any changes, can be a pain. So I keep it locked away until I need it. But hopefully they're going to come with some rules. If they're going to come, and they will, if they're going to come with a policy that we all need to, as citizens, be able to be prepared to show ICE or any other federal agency, look, I'm an American. That's freedom for you. You're out, you're let go. You've got proof of citizenship, and then they can more quickly move on to people that we all want deported. We voted to have those folks sent home, and I'm happy to show my membership. People will line up. You can't go in a Costco. they they used to, for a while they would check you on the way in, and then it got to be where you couldn't check out anyway, without your membership card. So it was kind of pointless. If you got past the little lady checking, you could still walk around, but you couldn't buy anything. So this will always come with some pitfalls. But at this point in my life, with everything this country's having to deal with right now, I'm happy to step up and show mine. I will show my papers. AJ, you got a passport? You've got one for your cruises and whatnot, haven't you?
Yeah. I got a passport.
Did you ever get? Don't
and
they
a
have
SAR
a little?
ID.
They have a little sort of wallet size one. I mean, years ago I had a little wallet version.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like
the
a little
passport
credit
card. Yeah, passport
Yeah,
card.
and I don't have that anymore. Maybe that's just something I need to request.
No, I
And-
mean you don't really need. Well, I mean if you're doing, you really just need to get the full book.
Well, that's what I mean. I got that.
Yeah,
but
that's
I used to
fine.
have both, and I was able to use. And of course, if you're going to travel internationally, you're going to need the full thing. But I mean, for this Homeland Security stuff, I think they ought to be able to accept either one of those,
Yeah.
as long as they make it easy on us. But anyway, all right, we'll get to all that, and we'll take your calls on it too. I just think it's going to be a healthy debate that we're having. Is it overreach or is it about time? I guess that's where we are on it. All right, let's get the show up and going. 545-9950. If you have an opinion on that, put it in here, and we'll do that tonight. Lonnius Furniture Company bringing you the show tonight. LAUNIUS, LonniusFurnitureCompany.com. What a beautiful store. What a huge store. What selection and quality. I don't know about you, but there's some things, I'll order stuff online. Amazon comes to my house like everybody's house. But there's certain things I got to see it in person. I got to hold it, touch it. In this case of furniture, sit on it. John will tell you when I go through the store, when I bought stuff from him, I will lift it up. I'll lift up a piece of furniture and just feel how heavy it is. I can feel quality. I guess I'm just tactile that way. And there's something about when you walk in Lonnie's, you can just feel it when you walk in the door. It's a smell or a sense of just beauty and quality built stuff. Some folks know what I mean by that. I can also detect cheap stuff. You ever bounced into one of these cheap discount stores like recliners for $200? You walk in there and you just smell plastic and mothballs, and you smell China all over the store. And that's not Lonnie's. Lonnie's is a beautifully well-designed, laid-out store with a 92-year-old family name attached to it, and these guys are your neighbors with a wonderful team that works around them. Great deals, beautiful selection. You can custom order inside the house, outside the house. They've got all of it. It's Lonnie's Furniture Company off exit 280 right there on I-65. Lonnie's Furniture Company. Y'all go and see them and take a look at their stuff. Tell them we said hey, and we're going to hopefully be doing a show there in the coming months, and we look forward to getting out of here and going to hang out up in North Jefferson County right off the 280 exit, LonniusFurnitureCompany.com. All right, y'all. Let's entertain a couple of phone calls, and then we'll get to the next hour. I thought this this ID situation would bring up some interest, and here's the first one. It's John on a cell phone. What's up, John?
Hey, Leland, first time caller, long time listener.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Thanks
I'm
for
a
calling.
veteran, and to get the veteran status on your driver's license, you have to go in and prove it
Yeah.
by taking your 214 in there, right?
Yep.
I don't know how more American you can be than having a DD 214. So why
Well,
do I have to have a star ID also?
well, I don't know. It just depends on the application. And Star ID was a whole. It was more security, not just citizenship. But I agree with you. But we'll wait for Homeland to tell us what would be acceptable in terms of proving your citizenship. But I think that should be accepted. Star ID should be accepted. A passport. Some of these other things that prove you're a citizen.
Well, I just think that you proved yourself as American when you enlisted in the military, and they ought
Oh
to
yeah.
just give you your star ID with it.
Well, yeah, I see what you mean. You're talking about just how you get your star ID anyway. It's one of the things you can use, I think, as well. John, I appreciate your call, buddy. Thanks for calling for the first time. Man, is the music already playing? I talked too long in that first segment. Patrick, you hang on. We'll go. We'll take some calls on this ID thing. What do y'all think? I'm down with it. I'm fine. I'll do whatever it takes to get my country secure, and I'm happy and proud to prove I'm an American at any traffic stop, any Homeland Security stop. I have no problem with it because that separates us from them, does it not? Bottom of the hour, Leland Live, talking to M5. Y'all stay tuned. Here we go. Got to turn my microphone. Got to turn my microphone on. AJ, can you even hear me? Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh, I started messing with my equipment and things got janky during the break, so I'll have to figure. Here we go. Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is this thing working? Here we go. All right, back here, Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all, welcome back into the show. Yeah, I was getting ready for a guest, so I started rearranging wires and cleaning up, and I think I turned something down. But anyway, here we are again. Can you hear me? Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear him on the phone.
Did I die? Yeah, you can hang up with them. And here I am over here. See me? All right. So, yeah, let's, what the hell was I doing? Let's go to Patrick. We're talking about this ID issue, and I love it. In that we've got to take some steps to secure who's supposed to be here and not supposed to be here. I really do think it'll make life easier on our officials that are doing this job. Now, the converse of that is you put a Democrat in the presidency and they want to use identification against us in a different way. We got to think about the possibilities of setting a precedent. But they've kind of already done it because during COVID, they were requiring people to walk around with these stupid vaccine proof of vaccine to function. I mean, there were employers requiring it. Public places that serve people were requiring vaccine proof. And we took exception to that. So we got to play this thing out. All right, let's go to Patrick, who's next. What's up, Patrick?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. It's for Friday. We got a 3-day weekend. Man, I think I just totally disagree with you on this ID thing. First of all, let me ask you a question. Do we know how ICE determines? I mean, how do they identify what areas? It would seem to me, I don't know. I'm just, speculating that they would identify criminal activity and then go seek that criminal and then find out if they're, supposed to be here. And if they're not, then, take them through the process. And then if their family members or people living with them get caught up in it, then they get sent back too. But I mean, I just don't see how we can just walk up to people and say, hey, I need to see, that you're an American citizen. There's a difference between rights and privileges. When you're driving.
I get what you're saying, Patrick. Let me just kind of work with you here. I was arguing both sides, right? I don't have a firm position on this, but I'm coming around on being able to present my identification. Now, they're going to have to, as you pointed out, they're going to have a reason to ask. You got to be in a situation where you're asked. One of those is a traffic stop. When you sign your driver's license to be on the public roads, that's not a private space, and you consent to be asked for that license.
I agree.
Your license. So traffic stops, criminal situations where there's an ongoing crime. For some of these illegal immigrants, they have outstanding warrants for the crimes. Some of them, they already have deportation papers that were sitting in the federal courts, and the last administration wasn't acting on them, so they identify these folks. They've got DNA evidence as to who they are and paper trails on that. They do have a lot of tools to know who they're going after, but in some kind of mass situations, it may be that if you're detained in a group or with one of those activities where they can ask for identification, then what they're saying is, I think what they're saying with the policy today is not that you have to do it, but they're going to ask you to be prepared to do it, so it makes life easier on you if you are a citizen. Does that make sense?
He dropped.
Oh, we lost Patrick. Yeah, look, I'm here to debate both sides of it, and I'm leaning toward Look, if they ask me on my personal level, I'll start keeping my passport. I'll keep something, whatever's required, in case say you're enjoying some nice queso at your favorite Mexican haunt, and I've got a lot of them around town. I'm having a good day. AJ, chips and salsa. Next thing I know, there's a Homeland Security raid on the kitchen. If they come through there trying to sort people out, I'm happy to show I'm an American citizen.
Man, they're going to look at you and be like, nah, yeah, he's good.
You think so? You think I look very American?
Yes. Yeah, they're going to look at you and be like, they're going to put their little card and say, okay, let's look at the shade. No, he's good. He's right above. Yeah, that complexion right there. Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
Will my white privilege card work? I've still got that in my pocket too.
Oh, this is what you got
I
to
think
show
we
him.
can
Just
whip
show him
that
your white
up, yeah.
privilege card. You be all right.
My high school friend's gave me a black card I could use only like 2 times in my life. I think I've already pulled that one out. My visa is expired. I don't know what else I need to show him. Cultural appropriation card. Harry's up next. It's a fun debate. I mean, it's a fun debate because we got to solve this problem, and I'm not sure how far conservatives are going to be willing to go on our side of things. Harry's up next on the cell phone. What's up, Harry?
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hey, man.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's your question?
A time when you're asked to prove your citizenship. I don't have a passport. I don't have that insignia on my driver's license. I have a birth certificate and I have a driver's license. What else do I need to have besides that in order to prove my citizenship?
Well, your birth certificate should do it.
Yeah, because I was born down here. I was born here in Birmingham, so
Yeah. I imagine
I've got, like I said, I've got a birth certificate and I've got a driver's license, but that's really all I've got. I don't have a passport or anything like that.
It's a good point. Now, so for your driver's license, when you do whatever they require, they're going to have to be specific about it. And it's going to be probably a number of documents. A passport's no brainer. You've already vetted your citizenship. I think Star ID would suffice because you've already vetted it ahead of time and it's on there.
Like I don't have that Star ID on my driver's license, so I guess I need to get it.
You might have to carry your birth certificate around.
I don't do a huge amount of traveling, so I didn't see the point of getting it. But that's just me.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You bring up a good point. It's going to be up to you if you look at the list of what they'll accept when you in a circumstance where you would have to do it. And then you got to decide whatever you're comfortable carrying around. In other words, for me, if Star ID is all I need, I've already got that in my wallet every single day. If I got to start dragging my passport around, I'm willing to do it. You'd have to decide if you're willing to go dig up your birth certificate and walk around with it, or go have that attached to another identity so they can prove it that way. I would suppose all this is guesswork because I'm only just seeing a headline on it that they're going to ask citizens to be able to prove their citizenship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right,
I'm just curious.
Good question. See what I mean? It brings up more questions than answers because they haven't filled in the announcement with details or whatever it is they'll allow to do. So if I had to break it into categories, and we'll get these other calls, we got to know under what circumstances would we be asked for it? Is that legal? If so, what are we required to show to prove we're citizens? And if so, the whole sequence. And what I'm telling you on a personal level, I'm willing to step up and do that if it helps. At this point in time in our country's history, if I'm in a circumstance where I need to vet myself from what's going on with the people around me that are subject to deportation, fine. I got a card. Remember that credit card commercial back in what was it? It wasn't American Express that said membership has its privileges. They were trying to sell some credit card membership. I'll bring my Jelly of the Month club, man. I don't care. Whatever they're asking for, I'll put it in my wallet. Dave's in Woodstock. What do you know, Dave?
Oh, not much. That was Amex. It had membership has its privileges.
American Express, that's what it was.
Yeah. But I have a friend of mine that lives up in Huntsville and works for Blue Origin. She's originally from El Salvador, and when I seen her around Christmas, she said, she started carrying her passport with her all the time because she's been a U.S. citizen for about 25 years.
I would do, especially AJ brings up appearance, but I would, if I was AJ, there's a song by Cheech and Chong called "Born in East L.A." It's exactly about this. Cheech and Chong wrote a song that they were deported, but they were American citizens, but got deported because they did. Yeah, that was great.
They did a movie about that too.
I know it.
Or Cheech did anyway.
Those guys are so funny.
No, last time I flew out of Atlanta, I went to the pre-check line, and they said, take off your hat and glasses and scan my face, and I didn't have to show no passport or Star ID or anything. Just went on through.
That creeped me out, too, the first time I did it, but it was so easy. I kind of liked it because I had my passport in my hand. They said, that's okay, just look in the camera. That thing took a picture of me, and I was good to go. Facial recognition.
Yeah.
They've already collected all that. They already know that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that was me. I had my passport out, even though I was just flying to Miami. But like I said, you're good to go. So, all right.
That's the world we live
Headed
in
to
right now.
the Delta Sky Lounge and kill time until the flight took off.
He's one of the big. You're one of those fancy flyers, man. They don't let me in the Sky Lounge. I'm not a member of that. I don't have a card for that.
I tell you what, I still have a American Express platinum card for my now retired photo business.
Yeah.
And that was enough to get me in.
There you go.
Where I didn't have to pay a fee.
Big
So
money.
I definitely took advantage of it.
All right, Dave. Good call, man. There you go.
All right. Appreciate it. All
Let's
right,
talk to Gene over in Holly Pond. Boy, this has got folks coming out of the woodwork. We hadn't heard from Gene in a while. Gene, what's up with you, man?
Well, yeah, it's got me coming out of the woodwork because it sounds like you're going to give up your rights for a little bit of privacy. Ain't they a saying on that?
There might be a
come
saying,
on, man.
but I don't know what right that is.
If you've not committed a crime, why would you have to show your ID? I ain't going to do it.
Well, that's not what the headline is that I can tell.
Well, that's not what you're saying, though.
No, I'm
you're
telling you what they said.
If they want you to show them some truth, you're going to you're going to do it. But
yes, if I'm in a situation where there's an ICE operation and they're trying to sort out Americans from non-Americans, I'm happy to stand up and sing the Lee Greenwood song or whatever they need. I'm going to show them I'm an American.
You have done nothing wrong. Is that correct?
No, they're not arresting you. They're trying to decide who there should be here in America and who shouldn't. If we don't help with that, it's helping the people that are hiding.
I'm not giving up my papers for anybody.
I got you.
If I don't have to. If I ain't done nothing wrong, where do you think Germany started with all this crap?
Well, that's how I started the conversation.
It sounds like you're playing both sides of the fence on this now.
I'm trying to argue it out loud so we can think, Gene. You do that, right? You like to think. So when you think about something, you look at both sides, right? So, and I said exactly what you're saying. You might have tuned in late. When I was growing up, that would be abhorrent to us because it evoked Germany or the Soviet Union and those kind of circumstances. But the times are being presented to us now. What you have to sort out here, I think, is they didn't say they were going to start randomly asking people. They said, but be prepared to show your citizenship. There will be situations where the government can ask you, like you're getting on.
I'm going to be prepared so they can just.
You're getting on a plane. You're in a traffic.
I'm not. I don't get on a plane. I'm not going nowhere.
I'm saying
I'm not
generically,
leaving the
not
state of Alabama.
You personally, Gene. You can stay right there in Holly Pond. I'm saying if you're getting on a plane,
thank you very much.
You're going through a truck stop, or there's something going down, and you're part of it. For some reason, they are legally allowed to ask you. Then be prepared to show them so that there's no confusion.
They are not legally unless you have done something wrong. Traffic violation.
Unless there's been a crime that went down and they're vetting a crime scene.
Well, I'm not part of the crime scene. If I'm not part of the crime scene, that's what I'm getting.
I said,
if we give up all that, you just lost everybody.
Gene,
you're
not even listening to the generalities of what they're suggesting.
The hell I ain't. I've been listening to the whole show. I know what you're talking about. But
what I'm
you're
saying is,
here you go. I got a passport. I don't have a passport.
Well, have you ever traveled internationally?
I was in the service. So why do I have, just like the young man, the other man said before, I was in the service. So why do I got to prove anything? I don't have to prove anything.
They're not coming to your house. They're not saying they're coming to your house.
They're not coming to my house, Bubba. And
that's what I'm saying.
If they do, I may be the one out on a stretcher, but they're not coming to my house.
They didn't say they were coming to your house.
I ain't done nothing wrong.
They didn't say you did anything wrong.
But if they do, why wouldn't they come to your house?
They didn't say they were going to come to your house.
You didn't show them your stuff and all this. Oh, okay.
Look, if they come to your house because they've got a warrant or there's a reason to come to your house, they're going to ask you for ID.
That's
anyway.
different.
No, that's not different. That's what they're talking about.
They're not going to ask you for no ID. They're just going to get you.
All right. Well, don't mess with Gene. All right, I got you, buddy. I got you.
All right, I got you, man. All right, you turncoat. Bye.
He just called me turncoat, AJ. I'm trying to work with Homeland Security to get these damn people out of my country. I like Gene's call, though, because he feels like a lot of people would feel. Well, as soon as I saw this headline, I knew Gene's perspective was my perspective. That's my whole point for bringing it up. I'm open-minded to it right now if it's going to help with this crisis that we're in, because they're not announcing that they're going to just start stopping Americans and asking for papers. But in the midst of a lot of ongoing activity, Americans are getting caught up in it. And the easiest thing for you to do out of convenience for yourself is to get yourself out of those situations if you're surrounded by it, by showing, hey, I'm an American. You can't mess with me. That's it. I would assume we're waiting on details. But it'd be a hell of a conversation in the country. But as a personal level, Gene, I got no problem carrying extra proof. I went and got a Star ID. It's the same concept. I wanted to show them I'm legally allowed to get on a plane, and I'm not a security risk. I am an American citizen. Add that to there was some paranoia when that first came out that it was some kind of government tracking program. I got news for you. Amazon already knows when you fart and what you talk about. So does Google, if you use any electronic devices. Now, I would just as soon be Abe Lincoln or Amish and live on top of a mountain and not have any technology. But if you do, your digital life every single day is recorded. Every move you make, every breath you take, they be watching you. It's a whole nother song. Back in a minute. People that are watching online on the YouTube channel must be because during the breaks we can't play the bumper music that we play on the radio show, and I'm just sitting here head bobbing AJ. They can't hear anything. Mic's up. We're hot. We're back. Here we go. Lead on Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all, Storm Restoration Roofing. That's my man Greg Nelson and his whole business. He's based out of Pell City. My brother took a break this week. I think that he and his wife did some traveling. But when your whole family's involved in a business, he's got 10 children, and most of them in some way work in the family business. That tells you a lot. It says their names on it. It's their identity. They want to work hard. They've learned from their dad how to do honest services for people. And so even though he was out this week, I'm sure the business was in good hands. As we get into the 2026, if you've got roof issues, and it can come out of nowhere with a storm or a sudden leak or some catastrophic thing, or you could just have an old roof, it's aging out and it's time for a replacement. Greg can handle all of it. He's got a finance company that can finance the entire project. If it's just an aid situation, if it is an insurance claim, I'm telling you, you better document that and do it correctly because it can be expensive. Your deductibles can be expensive. The insurance companies will turn you down if it's not legit, or if you can't document that it's legit. It happened here. This is the damage. This is when it happened. This is why it happened. Once you can fill those blanks in, you've got a legitimate claim, and everybody works well together. Greg can help you with that. He knows what the companies will allow, what the adjusters need, and they work well with the adjusters to get this work done. And on top of all that, he just does the best work in the world. He's a good man that does quality work, and he's there for you in the long run if you ever have a need. Greg Nelson, and his business, of course, is Storm Restoration Roofing. They work on a traditional phone number. We've been giving it to you. I always remind people, stick this in your phone somewhere. You might need it. 542-3531. Of course, that's a 205 area code, 542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. Man, the ID thing is blowing up phones. I love it. I love the debate and the back and forth. We'll do some more of this. We're going to switch gears next hour on a couple of things, but we'll do some more of this later in the show. Our man Joe from Coleman's up next. Joe, what do you think about all this?
Look, I mean, this is look. I'm for more roadblocks. You know what I mean? I mean, if they can find creative ways to get this done that are constitutional, I don't have a problem with it. I remember when I was when I was younger, I used to dread going through the roadblock. Remember, 1 o'clock in the morning.
I know.
Oh man,
no doubt.
They're gonna smell it on me. You know what I mean? But that's a constitutional way. They could do these things during the middle of the day.
Absolutely, they can. Yeah.
They don't have to be looking for anything. They need to have creative ways to do this. Let me just say that this is the one issue. No matter what happens while Trump is in office, this has got to get accomplished. This thing has got to get done. Everything hinges on this domestically in this country. Our schools, our infrastructure, our Medicare system, our Medicaid system, the fraud and abuse, voting all hinges on congressional votes hinge on this one issue. In California and these New York, they're going to lose a congressional representative seat. California's going to lose a congressional representative seat. The only reason they've been able to make up for all the people that have moved out of those states the last 10 years is because of illegal immigration. And if this one thing is not cleaned up, our country is doomed. It is.
That's not an overstatement. I saw a story today where Minnesota they've already deported enough people out of the Minnesota area that they may lose a congressional seat just because of deportations and people that are self-deporting. Yeah. That's how many illegals were in that state getting counted and giving them overrepresentation in the Congress.
That's a lot of people.
Yep.
We wonder about California elections for years and years and years, y'all. This may be the fraud in itself.
So I guess
all these differences.
My approach, and maybe you agree with it, and it's where I don't think Gene was connecting with me on it, and I get Gene's approach, but I am asked to, if I'm a citizen in a lot of places, on a gun form, on other travel stuff, how many times do you remember filling out a form and there's a box that says, are you a U.S. citizen? And they don't check your papers, but if you lie on that form, then you've committed a felony in some cases. And if it's helpful to the people that are working so hard to help us fix this and helpful to me to not get caught up in something I don't need to be caught up in, I'm happy to keep my ID on me and show it when I need to. Absolutely.
Got to get done. All right. See you, man.
Thank you,
Bye.
Joe. And like Joe says, it's got to be within the Constitution. We don't want random spot checks, and we don't want house-to-house visits. But in these operations where it's legal for them to vet this out, I think it's very helpful to be able to help the feds. Back in a minute.